this. Let's take a look at pitching in the American League. Some pretty good pitchers out there, Bud. We've had a couple of Cy Young awards for Corey-Kluber here with Cleveland. He now is gone at Texas. Let's take a look at what Presque Isle Downs and Casino is telling us about who this year's AL Cy Young Award winner will be. Gerrit-Cole is there at 9-5, followed by Chris Sale of Boston. Justin Verlander says he's not going to. It'll take a miracle for him to be able to start on opening day. He's at 9-1. Blake Snell of Tampa Bay at 11-1. Shane-Bieber and Mike-Clevinger 5th and 6th, 12-1 and 14-1. Then it's Zach Greinke of Houston at 16-1, and the obligatory Corey-Kluber has to be in there for Texas at 18-1. Any thought on who it's going to be? I'm casting my ballot for Gerrit-Cole.
You are. I was just about to say anybody but Gerrit-Cole.
Well, I guess I agree that if you come up with a name like that, the guy who's taking the rest of the field probably has the advantage. Well,
I think my point is that I think it's hard when you join a new organization and guys have gone to New York and not been the guy that they were in their previous city. So I would be a tough one to bet on.
Hey, let's jump back on the Francisco Lindor thing, because somebody had told me that despite the fact he obviously wants the biggest contract he can get, he's not particularly locked in on playing for the New York Yankees. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that. I think he's a guy that'd be open to almost anything. I mean, can you imagine him in Manhattan? Like, it seems like the perfect place for him. But I think he's a guy that could walk in and play in L.A. He could be happy playing in Minnesota, but I'm not suggesting Minnesota's going to sign him.
No, but I'm wondering, because of the Derek Jeter hangover from a couple of years ago and his great career that he had, almost just a phenomenal career, and you just wonder if Francisco Lindor could live up to that. I mean, I think he's one of the top position players in the game of baseball, but I'm wondering if he could live up to the comparisons over a 10, 12, 14-year career in New York.
Yeah. That'd be awfully difficult. I mean, he is a special player, and I know people think that we make you and I less, and others make excuses for the Dolans for not being able to afford that kind of player. If you're ever going to do it for a guy, he's the guy. I just don't know that by doing that you assure yourself a better chance than you have right now of winning a World Series.
Yeah, and part of the problem is now, other than the beginning of last year when he had that injury that cost him, I think, 19 games, he's been injury-free. You don't, but odds tell you over an 8 or 10-year period, somebody's going to get hurt somewhere along the line, and you still have to pay out that money on payday.
Yeah, I just saw something that our friend Bert Grave posted to Facebook today, and if anybody doesn't know, Bert was a longtime Cleveland sports writer. And he talked about the games down the stretch last year when they needed desperately to win, and Lindor hit like 111 or something in those last 5 games. I don't know that that's necessarily fair to do, to pull out that small of a sample from a guy's season. But that's what happens when you pay these kinds of salaries to these guys.
You're asking for it.
They're expected to perform in the highest pressure situations. And I think he's done fairly well at that, but he's still only one player. And other than watching Barry Bonds when I attended that World Series when they played Oakland in the World Series, I never have seen a guy that another team tried to avoid by pitching around and still got burnt by that player. Usually you can pitch around these guys. That's the thing about baseball.
I suppose we're talking with Bud Shaw, who is enjoying the sunshine down south. We showed the odds for the Cy Young Award this year. Let's take a look at what Mike-Clevinger has done in his Indians career. You see 4 years, and let's see, 15 and 16. That's 31 wins in those 4 years.
That's pretty impressive. In that 2019 season, if he misses an early month of the season, or I can't remember if it might have been more than that, with a pulled muscle in his back. I mean, that easily could have been a 17-5 season.
Sure. I started to say how many wins it is, and it dawned on me that wins apparently don't count anymore for pitchers. Do you? I don't know how that's possible, that the new math tells you the wins are no big deal.
Yeah, I've seen that in a few of the Cy Young discussions over the last few years, where guys look like they don't have the number of wins to be a top 1 or 2 or 3 contender, and yet the case is made that all of their other statistics were through the roof. I'm not smart enough, or I guess open-minded enough to understand all that.
Yeah, Shane-Bieber on that list of the odds Cy Young Award winner, and of course he was the MVP of the All-Star game held in Cleveland last year. I don't care if you can't look at wins. I'm looking at him. 26 wins.
Yeah, the other thing
26 and 13.
The other thing it's hard not to look at, Les, is that strikeout to walk ratio.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's one part of the new analytics I go for, strikeouts versus walks.
Yeah, I do get that.
Yeah.